Today, I'm gonna teach you how to make roast chicken. This might be my all-time favorite meal. It can feel intimidating though, like oftentimes roast chicken can turn out dry or bland and just uninteresting. This recipe solves that. What I love most about roast chicken is that I get to create an entire meal in one pot. I'm gonna show you 3 skills. First, how to season the chicken, then how to baste it while it's roasting so that you get that really nice, delicious, crispy skin. And finally, how to carve the chicken once it's cooked so you can serve it to your friends and family. Let's get cooking. Flavor and texture starts with seasoning. A good rule of thumb is to put about 1 teaspoon of salt per pound of chicken. I've got a 4-pound chicken right here, so I'm gonna add approximately 4 teaspoons of salt. Just going to kind of sprinkle the salt all over the chicken, then also inside the cavity. You want that salt to work inside and out of the chicken. That's going to equal the most moist and tender roast chicken. I put it in the bowl, breast side down, before putting it in the fridge. Any juices that come out of the chicken, because it's salted, get soaked back up into that breast meat. You wanna season the chicken as early as you think of it. In an ideal world, that's 2 days ahead of time, but honestly, if you season it up to the same day or even an hour before you're going to roast it, you will still have a delicious dinner. I typically just put my chicken on the bottom shelf of the refrigerator, uncovered. The airflow is really important. It allows that skin to kind of dry out, which equals crispier skin when you roast it. However, you could also just tent some foil or a piece of parchment over the top. Just don't seal it all the way around because the airflow is important. Fortunately, I have this chicken right here that I put in salted 2 days ago. Look at how the salt has changed the color and texture of the skin. It's like almost translucent. That's the salt doing its work. The best temperature for roasting chicken is 450. 450 is a higher temperature than a lot of recipes you might see, but I have found it to be the best for roast chicken because it ensures that the meat stays moist and tender while still being able to achieve that really nice brown, crispy skin. Okay, oven is preheating. It's time to prep the vegetables. I have my favorites here, which are shallots, garlic, rosemary. I never make roast chicken without rosemary. Carrots and parsnips. Also a lemon. I'm gonna put this in the cavity. Root vegetables are hardy. You know, they are firm, they are hard, they take a long time to cook. So parsnips and carrots and other root vegetables, when they cook with the chicken for an hour, they get caramelized and sweet and kind of fall apart tender. They're just amazing. But again, like you can get creative and put whatever you like in with your chicken. Now we're gonna cut the vegetables. Lemon, I'm gonna put 2 rounds inside the cavity of the chicken. Garlic. This becomes magical with roast chicken. Just cut the top off to expose the cloves. To peel a shallot, I just cut the bottom and the top off and then run my knife down the paper outside so I can peel it. And then the other great thing about roast chicken is it doesn't matter how you cut it, just large pieces, because again, it's gonna roast for a long period of time, so I want large chunks. If I cut these up really small, they'll tend to burn at that high temp. For roast chicken, I like to peel the carrots, and then to cut them, I'm just gonna kind of rough large chunks. Doesn't have to be fancy. Parsnips, when they roast, get super sweet. They kind of turn into candy in roast chicken. Again, with the parsnips, just cutting in chunks. It's time to get these vegetables in the roasting pan. Instead of using and dirtying a bowl to toss them in olive oil and salt, I just do it right in the roasting pan. Including the garlic, 3 of the sprigs of rosemary. I'm gonna put about 2 tablespoons of olive oil and then about a teaspoon of salt. 1.5 teaspoons. It's about a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. I'm gonna toss this with my hands, make sure it's all nice and coated in olive oil and salt. And then with the garlic, I'm gonna put it cut side down to one side of the pan. That is gonna make sure that it browns on the bottom and those cloves get nice and caramelized. Then I'm gonna make a little space in the center of the pan for my chicken. So the chicken is gonna go right there. Grab this. When putting the chicken in the roasting pan, I made space so that the skin is touching the bottom of the pan. That's because the heat is gonna brown that chicken skin on the back of the chicken, create flavor. I do need to wash my hands because I need to season it with some olive oil and pepper. I've got the chicken breast side up, and then I'm gonna drizzle a little bit of olive oil. Don't need to season it with any salt because it already spent 2 days in the refrigerator with salt. A pinch of black pepper. And then I'm gonna take this last rosemary sprig and stick it inside the chicken. That's gonna allow that flavor, the aroma of rosemary to cook like all around the chicken. And then these 2 wedges of lemon inside the cavity as well. This is ready to go in the oven. I'm gonna wash my hands and then pop it right in. The chicken's gonna roast for about an hour. I'm gonna check it every 15 minutes though to baste it. It's been 15 minutes, so it's time to baste the chicken. Okay. So the first thing I'll do is toss the vegetables a little bit, making sure though that my garlic always goes back into the bottom of the pan. This ensures that they don't over brown. And then to baste, tilt the pan to one side. And then right here, can you see, this is a combination of juices, rendered chicken fat, and some of that olive oil that's accumulated. I'm gonna take a spoon, lift up those juices, and pour it over the top of the chicken. This is basting. The reason for basting is because it helps ensure even browning, but also that it browns even darker, like the darkest that it could. Nice and crispy skin. Back in the oven for another 15 minutes. As I baste every 15 minutes in the cooking process, more and more juice and like fat is rendering out of the chicken, so it makes basting a little bit easier. Let's take a look. Oh my gosh, it's looking so good. See? Oh my gosh, delicious juices. Spoon it over the top. Oh my goodness. It smells so good. The piney rosemary and the sweet smell of the roasting vegetables. Oh, the other thing, how to know when it's done or that it's not done in this case. If I pull the leg, it doesn't want to pull apart, right? When the chicken is done, if I gently tug on the leg, it's gonna start to tear apart and fall off. But when it's not done, I'm pulling at it and it's really, the chicken's like hanging on, you know? It's really tight. Check it in another 15, baste it and see if it's done. The chicken has been in the oven for an hour. I have basted it 3 times and it should be done. Let's take a look. Oh my gosh, yum. That looks amazing. The chicken is done. Now it's time to let it rest for 10 minutes. Resting is a really important part of the process because it allows the high heat temperature on the outside of your chicken to slowly have the time to penetrate all the way to the center for more even cooking. In my family and in restaurants, when you walk away from something hot, flag it with a towel, and that means it's hot. First place to start is with the legs. And right here where the skin is kind of bunched up between the breast and the leg is where I'm gonna put my knife to start. As I'm pulling away, just grab and tug. And there, right down in here, there's the joint ball right there, the end of that joint. That is where I'm gonna put my knife. To cut the leg, hold it upright, slip my knife in there, cut through that joint. Do the same thing on the other side. Cut through that skin. That is where you cut it. And then we're gonna do the same thing here. Hold it upright and cut straight down. The wishbone is up here, and to get most of the breast meat, you're gonna wanna take it out, but it's a little bit, if your chicken's as hot as mine, it's a little easier to just cut through the wishbone. There, and it snaps super easily. The breastbone is underneath and it has this like ridge right in the center. So just off center is where I'm gonna cut and then follow the meat down along the breastplate. I take the breast out without the bone attached. You could cut through the breastplate and serve it bone in, but I like, for my kids in particular, to take it off, cut that chicken breast in half. Do the same thing on the other side, make a small cut. Now it's a little easier to see. This is that ridge bone that's like right in the middle. Just cut along that. Pull that breast meat off. Cut it in half to make some smaller portions. Half, and that's it. We've got 2 chicken breasts that are both cut in half, 2 wings, 2 thighs, and 2 legs. In my family, it's like a fight always for the legs and the thighs, and the kids, and my husband, I feel like they always get those pieces first. And I've been eating chicken breast for a while now, so maybe this is my opportunity. I'm gonna take this serving platter, scrape this up. Oh my gosh, look at that garlic. This is what dreams are made of. Pour this in here. The best part is always stuck to the bottom of the pan. I'm gonna lay the chicken pieces over top. There we have it. Garlic is my favorite part. I'm gonna just squeeze it over here. Look at this. Look at those cloves. Roasted garlic. Yum. Yum, yum. I'm gonna serve myself some. I finally get a leg to myself. I don't have to fight my kids over it. And the first pick of those delicious vegetables. Also, I wanna make sure I get that sauce that's down in here. Look at this. It's like, oh my gosh. Pour that over top. That looks just incredible. There you have it, roast chicken. Now you know not only how to make an incredible, delicious roast chicken, but you also know how to season the meat ahead of time, how to baste during cooking so that you get that nice, crispy, evenly brown skin, and how to carve it up so you can serve it in pieces for your friends and family. Yum. Roast chicken.